This is Black Light. And we're back again. Oh, say, can you see? Can you hear? Can you smell? Huh? Can you hear and smell Uncle Sam's smelly, nasty jaws? Some of you can't see them, some of you can't even smell them. A lot of times, I know it sounds contradictory when I say that Uncle Sam shows you his dirty drawers, tells you about himself over these movies. And then sometimes I say, well, he's not going to tell you about himself. And that sounds contradictory. So I was listening to some of my past videos and I said, well, that sounds contradictory. So let me clear up what I'm talking about. When I say is that he's not going to tell you about how dirty and low down he is, well, that means in the school system, he'll give you watered down truth. He'll say that, yeah, you was in slavery, but he make it seem like, it's your fault that you were in slavery. And then he make it seem like, well, your own people sold you into slavery. But he doesn't tell you the difference. There was slavery all in the Bible, slavery all in the Quran. But what was the difference between the white man's slavery of the black man than the rest of the slavery? Well, see, for one thing, what they call slavery of the black African here in America was that it lasted for 400 years. That's a lot of generations to be suffering under another man's dictatorship and rulership. You couldn't speak your language, your own language. You couldn't practice your own culture. Now, in other slavery situations, you could talk your own language and you could keep your own customs or your own, you could practice your own culture. You couldn't worship your own God. If they catch you worshiping your God, you die. You couldn't play music, which was part of your culture. If they see you playing the drums or instruments like that, they'll cut your hands off. You had to change. You couldn't keep your own name, your own African name. You had to take on the name of the slave master. And then they torture you and put fear, terrorize the black man, and the black woman and the baby. Separate the family like they doing now to the Mexicans and stuff. That's all. So you'll begin to love and depend on your slave master. And then when they let you read the Bible, which they interpreted to you that Jesus was a Caucasian, a European. You know what I'm saying? And when they showed you that Jesus was the Son of God, when they told you that he was, that made you love him even more. And then when they did let you go to school and let you go to church, they make it seem like you supposed to be a slave and that you're not as good and you're not civilized as the Caucasian. And so that way they're not telling you the real truth, but they show it to you in their movies, how they shot up the Indians, and made it seem like the Indians were the bad guy, and when they show you a movie about a black man being terrorized by the Ku Klux Klan, they make it seem like, the black man is a terrible person for rebellion. He should just submit and know his place. You see what I'm saying? And also, right now in the school system, he don't tell the children about Marcus Garvey and about Noble Drew Ali, about none of that history. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he'll talk about Malcolm and he'll talk about Martin Luther King, but he won't talk about H. Rap Brown or Stokely Carmichael or Deacons of Defense. He don't talk about those certain brothers he pick and choose the history of. He stopped even talking about George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington. He don't talk about those guys no more. So, the children now have a different kind of view on history as the last generation did. And he's keep watering it down. But he's telling you, but he's trying to clean it up a little bit, you see. So the modern day black child, automatically thinks that he's inferior than the Caucasian. And he thinks the Caucasian is superior than him, and he thinks the Caucasian has more wealth than he got, and you got the black fathers nowadays not in the home with their sons and daughters. They're leaving it up to the grandparents to raise the children. And this also gives the child a complex. And they leave it, and most of the grandparents leaving up to the schools to raise their children. And the schools tell them what they want to tell them, and no one seems to protest it.
I'll leave that to others. The biggest unanswered question is, where is the money? The biggest unanswered question is, where is the money?
So we're going to continue this Black Light Out.